The lesson.
Oh yeah.
DJ Kansel, what's happening, man?
Not much, man.
Been a long time, man.
Yeah.
I reckon good 5, 6, 7 years, maybe.
What, since anyone seen me?
Well, since I seen you at a gig,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, I can't remember the last gig I would have done, but yeah, feels like 10 years, yeah.
So what's been happening now that you haven't been doing the music thing? I know that you're a family man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Just got a little boy, so
Holding down the little ones.
yeah.
Now,
And just doing art full time, pretty much, like full time daddy, and just got art back in my life.
oh, for real?
Yeah.
So what sort of art?
Graffiti, yeah.
Yeah, right. Are you actually going out and painting, or
Yeah,
is it just?
like regular, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, get on the Instagram, man. Blows up. Yeah.
Well, I guess, in terms of the graffiti, I mean, is that something that you were doing even before the DJing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's how most of the Battlehoggs met, you know what I mean? We all did graph before we did music, you know what I mean?
So what?
I started in like 1989 or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And then, so who were the dudes that you were painting with?
Like, what, the music dudes?
Yeah,
Juice,
or
really.
just anyone.
Me and
in
Juice and
general.
Snare, like, met Snare through Juice, then we all got into music together, and we all painted together, like, but met Juice at about when we were 15, and fucking used to go interstate and do panels and shit, like, before, like when we were that age, you know what I mean?
So what? Because was Juice 73A,
Yeah,
and you were?
SRK.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But obviously, people just went painting together regardless of which
Yeah,
crew.
he actually Juice paints with SRK now. What's the language? Juice paints with SRK dudes now.
Mm.
Like, yeah. I haven't seen any of them for a few years, you know what I mean?
And then, so how long were you painting before you actually started getting to the DJ shit?
Like 10 years, 15 years. Like, we started painting when we were kids, you know what I mean? Like, in like late 80s, early 90s, and then I think me and Snare and Juice all started scratching pretty much the same day and buying records around 1996, 97.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then we met Stain and Bet through battles, you know what I mean? But and Callan, DJ Someone, he was already he was like, yeah, pretty predominant in the Australian and the world scene. So, and we knew him like personally, so he just sort of gave us, you know, sort of trained us up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And who was Summon? What crew was he a part of?
Beats crew with Next, DJ Next.
What graffiti crew?
Oh, the Graffiti crew. I don't think he was in the Graffiti crew.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you guys started DJing in, say, the mid-90s.
Yeah.
And then when did battling sort of come into the picture?
Pretty much straight away. Like that's how we got into DJing, was straight up of DMC battles, you know what I mean? Like, and scratching, and because Callan was good at it, sort of firsthand, like he was training for the battles, and we were just hanging out with him, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's where we went with it, the technical side, I guess, more than club sets and shit like that, more just scratching and juggling.
Yeah, like the turntablism.
Yeah, just training all year round to do that shit every year, and there was big events each year for the DMCs back then as well.
And so what year would have been the one where Summon first like entered and then you guys were going there to watch him?
1998 or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I remember Kim Dezen, and I think Reflux probably started battling a year before me. Pretty sure, like 99 possibly, I'm not sure.
So you started in
I started 2000. Me, Snare, Juice, we all went in the 2000 DMC.
And had those guys been in the DMCs before?
I remember Shep and David L, Mark 1. I can't remember if Reflux was in the one before. Like, he was already good. He was definitely better than me back then, but I can't remember if he was already battling. He was obviously training. You know what I mean? But yeah, Kim Dezen and someone, and yeah, I don't know.
And then, so was your first battle an ITF or a DMC?
I can't really remember. I think DMC.
So
it was no good. I tried to forget it. You know what I mean? It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean?
And why was that? Was it just because you were unprepared?
Yeah,
or?
I think it was the stage and the presence of the crowd, man. It just rocked me. You know what I mean? Just didn't know what I was ready to go until that, and then the next year, that wasn't a problem. You know what I mean? I actually loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was just that first time.
Yeah. Just fucking, yeah.
So then
All
2000...
heads down and then heads up. It's like, what the fuck? You know, and there were big events back then, 1,000 people or something.
Yeah, it's crazy how the numbers used to be to a DMC.
Yeah, they were massive, man, because that was the only time you got to see the hip-hop acts, really. Like, remember Hilltop Hoods, like, supporting...
They would support the DMC
Yeah.
events and shit.
Yeah, host it, support it. All the big DMC and ITF events had, like, a big hip-hop act to support it, interstate and locally.
Yeah, I remember that. And then so the following year, 2001,
Yeah.
that was a DMC and you performed better.
2001? Yeah, that would have been the first year that, I was serious about it, I guess. But, yeah, it didn't put me off the first year around. But, yeah, like there was an ITF in between, did all right in that. I remember Reflux winning that one, I think. The ITF, the first ITF they were winning. But, yeah, by the next year, yeah, it was roaring to go. And then pretty much we all got good together, you know what I mean? All of us going in each year competing against each other, fucking that made us all get good. And then we were all travelling interstate for the nationals. There was 5 Adelaide dudes in the nationals every year.
And then so what was the top placing that you managed to get in a DMC?
In DMC, fourth. One year we all had to go over there. There was no Adelaide DMC. We all went over, and me, Snare, Stain, and I can't remember. I think that was all. We all got into the nationals, and yeah, came fourth.
Is that the year that Stain came first?
Yeah, I can't remember. I believe it was. Like it wasn't the first year he came first. It was probably the last year he came first. Because the next year I went into the Scribble Jam, and it was exactly the same time as the DMC. And Stain took out the DMC that year, and I won the Scribble Jam. And we both went overseas that year. So that was 2006. So I think 2005 I come fourth in the DMC.
So that 2006,
and it was
Scribble
like 3
Jam,
people came fourth. I think Perplex, me, and some other dude. I don't know.
What came?
He'll be spewing that, I can't remember, but yeah.
I think 06, was that the year that Purpose made it to Scribble Jam?
Yeah, like
freestyle
me and
battles?
Purpose, we did the Adelaide one, then went to the Sydney one, and both won together. You know what I mean? Both went overseas together. He was about 16. He couldn't actually get in the gigs. He had an X on his hands. I had to be his like parent or whatever, his guardian.
Yeah, I remember him saying something about that. And then so when you went into the Scribble Jam comp, like how different was the format to a DMC or an ITF?
Exactly the same as ITF.
Oh, okay, so 3 rounds, not was it?
It was
60
two.
seconds?
It's 2 rounds, like depending on how many competitors. But the Australian one was each state qualify, and then just 2 rounds, and then advance. Yeah, but every round was 2. Actually, the last round was 3 because they just added an extra scratch round or some shit.
And then how did you actually do in the international?
In the Australian one. In the Australian one, I smashed it. And then the international one, jet lag was something I didn't know about, man. You know what I mean? I just remember talking to Stain as soon as I got back. He was like, you got to go 3 days early. You know what I mean? I just rocked up fucking the next day, battled. And it was like out of my skin, man. Like, you know what I mean? I thought I was pretty fucked up on that, you know, from the jet lag, but I didn't know it was like that.
How big's the Scribble Jam crowd?
It was a drive-in. It was massive.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean? Like an empty drive-in full of people.
So
especially at night. In the day, like, it's all scattered out everywhere, but for the main stage at night, it's jam-packed.
So that'd be the biggest crowd that you'd done a battle in?
Yeah, for sure.
Front of?
Biggest crowd I've ever seen, yeah.
Yeah, wow. And then so what placings did you get, if anything at all?
Nothing over there. Nothing over there. Because I used the wrong set to begin with, but it's like they had turntables that I already knew and respected there, and they understood what I was doing, but you know, it wasn't clean enough or clear enough to make it through. You know what I mean?
Do you remember who won that year?
DJ Ideal from Miami.
Yeah,
he was due. I got the plane with him the next day back down south. Like I went to Houston, he went to Miami. I think it was the next day or the next week, whatever. You know what I mean?
So that's when you did, because I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
You spent some time in Houston.
Yeah.
And all around Texas.
When I won that trip to the States, yeah, just utilised the trip to You know what I mean? Once I was there, just used my own money to get myself down there and stayed there for as long as I could. I was with my nephew. It was a good time, man.
So you're in Houston 2006.
Yeah.
Off the back of the Scribble Jam.
Yeah.
Now, when you get there, I mean, what were you doing there? Because I think you collabed with some artists over there.
Yeah, I think I had a CD to go there with. Like, I'd done a CD before I left that ended up being pretty successful. Did another cover for it, like an actual art, new presentation cover for it. Like, and they actually took it over. I fell out with the dude who I made the CD with. There was a dude here that I actually went to school with. He did all the internet shit and fell out with him over what we were going to do with it, really. Because I guess it was fucking worth something, But people over there love it, man. Like, you know, like the respect I got off doing that CD, this Australian career doesn't even really bother me, you know what I mean?
So which CD is it?
There's a couple. There's one with a dude called Agling Life. They're just hosted CDs similar to Volume 1 and 2 and 3 or whatever. But yeah, there's one with Agling Life, one with a dude called Chingo Bling, another one with a dude called Red Cafe, and that's probably it. Those three.
Chingo Bling's pretty big.
He's on Netflix as a comedian now, but yeah, he was sort of always a comedian and shit, and he was a mogul, like a millionaire.
He's got his own hot sauce or something.
He's got his own fucking everything, clothing line, shoe line.
Yeah, he's a smart motherfucker, man.
Yeah, like, and you'd be surprised, like, the bigger the artists, like, the more willing they were to work, you know what I mean? He just loaded me with songs and exclusives and fucking just got in the booth and, you know, recorded as much acapellas as I could, as he could. So, and just said, yeah, there you go, use whatever photo you want, see you later. Don't worry about money, you know what I mean? Just make it happen.
Didn't charge you?
No.
And so how did you have that connection?
Like, a lot of the smaller artists will want money, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's pretty much what I say, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? And then the next CD they'll want on. I don't fuck around.
And so how did you have that connection to dudes like Chingo Bling?
Bling, through artists over there. Like when artists gathered what I was doing, because a lot of the DJs over there lack in skill, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it just blew them away, man. Like, with the turntablism. So, fucking, and the realness of artist to artist relation. You know what I mean? Just fucking got along with everyone. So they just, numbers just flew at me.
So when you pretty much get off the plane in
Houston,
yeah, like you've already got a few contacts there, man. Or
at least 10.
Yeah, okay. And then so how did you make contacts with that? Because this is sort of like not before the internet, but
no, it's not before the internet. That's how we got the contacts for the internet, man. Is like, that's the dude I was saying. Like, he did all that shit. I'm pretty much dyslexic, man. I don't even fucking own. I don't have an email still. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I've always had someone doing all that shit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
So okay, so they sort of.
And that was through a dude buying and selling CDs. That's how really that started. He was buying and selling music that we liked over here. You know what I mean? Because they couldn't get it in stores over here, and then you're pretty much buying it off the artist over there. If not, one person away from the artist. You know what I mean?
So through buying the music direct, you build a relationship.
It's all independent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wow. And then, okay, so I guess in regards to, Texas, Houston, and the culture over there, obviously it's very different.
Screwed up culture, man. Yeah, but I grew up on that shit. You know what I mean? That's I didn't grow up on Australian music. You know what I mean? So when we started DJing, like, started rapping with an Australian accent. You know what I mean? So we grew up on other music. You know what I mean? That's my shit. So
now explain what screwed up. Screwed up culture, screwed up music.
There's a dude, DJ Screw, right? And they're all on drugs over there, like syrup, lean. I don't know what you compare that to over here, but it's like a downer type drug. They're not cranking; they're all, like, slowed out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he started slowing down the music, and it fucking makes the drug better, pretty much.
And like over there, like with the music, there's like a strong car culture.
Yeah, fuck
like candy paint.
Yeah.
Candy paint old school rides and shit like that.
The further you go back, the stronger that culture is, you know what I mean? Like, Screw's dead, a lot of the artists are dead, so I'm pretty sure the culture ain't what it was even when I was there, you know what I mean?
While you were in Houston, any sort of like real memorable, standout moments, any stories?
Meeting Bushwick Bill on the side of the street, it was like, I was hanging with these kids. I was living in a hotel. It was just cheaper, like per week to go in these cheaper hotels. Like they were full of families and shit. After Katrina, like everyone was just living in, sort of squatting. And these kids were like, push your bills out the front, grab the camera. I was like, yeah, bullshit, man. Like, and he'd broken down, man. He was like in Houston, like there's a huge road, like it's called the 610. It just goes through every suburb type thing. And he'd broken down on that. He was just walking past the hotel. And
wow.
I don't know how long he was waiting out there for me as well, because I didn't believe these kids that Bushwick Bill was out there. I was like, yeah, I'll get my camera. And fucking slowly went out there, and he was out there.
Yeah, right. So did you film?
That's on the Bushwick. That's on Battlehoggs Volume 2, the DVD, the shout out.
No. Yeah, no shit.
Little black dude about this big.
Wow. And anything else? Like, did you go to anyone's studios or?
No, not really over there, man. A lot of people over there pay a lot of money for their studio time. Like, that was one of the things. Like, people were willing to fly down here to record shit because it was just that expensive for them to record over there, eh? Like $1,000 a session or something. It was like everyone down here's got studios. Just come down here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
$1,000 for a ticket.
No shit.
Recording an album. And they were like realistically thinking about doing that. $1,000 for a ticket down here and as much studio time as you want, you know what I mean? Because the studio time is like $1,000 a day over there.
That's crazy. So what, dudes aren't like...
There's just gangster over there, man, you know what I mean? No one's got a house studio and shit.
So dudes are making a fair bit of money then off studio time.
Oh yeah, I guess. Dudes are making a lot of money off music, you know what I mean? So, and it's sort of like, I don't know, sort of like a hierarchy over there as well, you know what I mean?
What do you mean by hierarchy?
I don't know. I guess if you just come out recording your own shit, someone's going to take your studio. I don't know, something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. No shit. I guess in terms of...
Over there, you got to be pretty gangster to have anything worth having. You got to be able to... you got to be able to keep it.
Because otherwise someone will come and take it.
There's gangster as fuck over there, man.
So I guess, did you go into any neighborhoods or areas that you were like, fuck, this is some real shit?
Yeah, I got some hardcore stories, man. Yeah.
Anything you can fill us in on?
Well, there's just, like, my nephew was with me and he was like pretty young then. He reckons he can't believe that we made it out of this ghetto alive. We were there just scoring weed, like, in the neighborhood, and we was cruising down the road and there was a T section and there was at least 30 dudes with baseball bats and guns and shit, just like broad daylight. So I don't know what the fuck was going on, but we just pulled up at this T section. And it was like, I just nodded at the dude and like, he just pulled up his shirt, he had a fucking shotgun and nodded back and that was it. But that was sort of every day to me as well. I was living pretty fucked up over here back then as well, you know what I mean? So like, it didn't really bother me. Do
you remember what neighborhood that was?
Yeah, South Park.
And that's in Houston?
Yeah. It was just off Martin Luther King Boulevard, which is, if you look up, I don't know, if you know anything about Houston, it's like where DJ Screw's from, South Park, Texas.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, wow. And then, so were there any other neighborhoods that you rolled through that were a bit much the same?
No, not after that, no. Yeah, the fucking cops come straight up to us like, what are you doing here? You're all right, you know what I mean? Because I had cameras and laptops, fucking all sorts of shit, you know what I mean?
Like I said, over there, the car culture,
yeah,
is real big.
It's hardcore, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us
get away
a bit
with
about...
doing a lot to your car over there as well, you know what I mean? You can't do shit to your car here without, you know? You can go 2 sizes up in your rims and, you know what I mean? You can go certain exhaust and they'll fucking take it off you. But over there, you can do whatever you want, man, you know?
So what's some of the craziest rides that you'd seen while you were over there?
Just promotional, like people cruising around in like promotional vans, like it's like it was their home, you know what I mean? Like, people make a lot of money off music over there, man. It's an oiled machine. It just grinds. As soon as you got talent, you get off that plane, like someone's looking to put you in a spot. You don't, you know, if you got talent, they'll find you. They'll give you some dollars to fucking put you somewhere, you know?
Yeah, wow.
I got offered a sick tour and had to leave, like, sort of just homesick. It wasn't that, like, we had no money left, but they said we don't need money, you know what I mean? Like, just start the tour tomorrow. And I just couldn't. I had my nephew with me and I've been there for 10 weeks or some shit. I just wanted to get home. So you had the opportunity to do a tour, like what sort of tour? I don't know, they reckon a 10-week tour or 8-week tour or some shit. Across America? With those type of artists from Dallas, actually. Through someone, wasn't Chingo Bling, but it was one of, like, the same manager that hooked me up with that. it was the Dallas manager. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know if you've
wow.
ever heard of an artist, ESG. Like, I was working with him. He was like, one of my favorite artists growing up.
Oceans of Funk.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
that was legit. That was the same manager. He's got the same manager.
So you were going to go on tour with ESG?
No, with dudes from Dallas. I can't fucking even remember those dudes' names, but there's a dude from Houston called Magne, and he'd done a song with one of these dudes, and I don't know, like a lot of the DJs over there, like that even I respect, they are not live DJs. You know what I mean? They can't flip juggles and scratch.
Yeah, like the
shit
turntablism thing isn't the thing over there.
If it's done in a studio. You know what I mean? Like they're studio DJs. Like fucking when KB came here, he had a manager with him then, a dude Blueberry, and he was the first dude. He goes, as soon as he seen me, he goes, "You got to get over there, man, because no one does this shit over there." You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then so when you did that shit over there, everyone.
I didn't even get a chance to do that over there. I was pretty much just meeting people and just living it up, man. Just experiencing the city really, and going back with contacts. I made a CD when I got back. That was the Chingo Bling CD. Like, fucking, it didn't really like get utilized because of the argument that I had with my manager, but it's a good fucking CD, man. Like, I still listen to it. You know what I mean? I'm proud of it.
Yeah, word.
Love it over there. And you mean to break into that scene, you got to be good, man. You can't, you know, especially some white kid from Australia. You know what I mean? You can't just be, oh yeah, this is cool. Some Australian kid fucking scratches. No, you got to be good, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Were people a bit like, what the fuck? This is some.
Yeah, they
dude
didn't
from
want to hear
Australia.
any Australian rap. Like when I was trying to show you, I tried to show them everything from like local shit to fucking even screwed up Australian shit to see if that would work. Fucking, I was pretty close with Fraser a few years back, and I thought his music might work over there. Like, you know what I mean? But nah, they weren't interested. Like, you know what I mean? Just weren't interested in any of it.
Did you find that they weren't even interested much in like New York shit? It was predominantly just down
New York
south.
people were interested in screwed music, man, especially back then. You know what I mean? It was just getting to the point where that Dipset shit, like everything was starting to sound screwed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No one really gives a fuck about New York shit.
So they were just pretty much on their southern shit.
Yeah.
Any West Coast? That southern stuff's pretty West Coast influence.
Yeah, it can be and was, but West Coast is pretty much the deadest coast at that time. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there at the moment. There's not much is going on down south at the moment. You know what I mean?
But at that point in time,
but Texas isn't even like Atlanta and that, man. Like Texas will live through it. Like it'll support its own culture. You know what I mean? People in Texas will buy that. Yeah, will buy 20,000 CDs in Texas. You know what I mean? And they'll do that every year. That's for, even if they did fucking 5,000 every year. You know what I mean? And keep doing that every year. And you know what I mean? We'll never hear of them. But that's enough to fucking let them live good or better than they fucking were. You know what I mean?
so there's dudes out there that are eating just off.
Oh fuck.
You know.
Not just of that, but they'll take their money from this. Where a lot of people don't make it out of the city, is they'll take their money from music and put it back into some street hustle, because you know what I mean, that's what they know, and fucking you know, it never really gets them far. Fucking plenty of things like that.
Well, how strong is the relationship between, you know, the street hustle and the music over there from what you saw?
Oh, strong as fuck. Everyone's a rapper. Everyone's selling something. Seriously, in Texas, man, people hanging out at shopping centers here, they're selling something there. They got a bag full of something. You know what I mean? You're walking down the street, someone will stop you with a bag full of something, trying to sell. If you look like you got money, someone's going to find you and try to sell you something. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a shop. It's going to be some G with a bag full of something, man.
So it's a full hustle culture over there.
Yeah. Houston is hustle city, man. Especially then. I don't like, you know, city's changed, but right then it was full on, man.
And then so, do you reckon, I guess that has an impact on, you know, the mixtape game?
Fuck yeah.
And the way people take
I think the mixtape
approach?
game had an impact on that city, man. You know what I mean? Had an impact on our city. If you think about that, like, you know what I mean? I let my shit there. You know what I mean? I fucking people love Battlehoggs Volume 1 and 2. Fuck, you know what I mean? That was the shit.
I was thinking, yeah, like I remember catching, I think, footage of some of your battles and stuff. Maybe I saw you battle here and there, but it wasn't till the mixtape started coming out that I fully became familiar with who you were and what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then when I reflect on it, I sort of think, yeah, wow, that trip to
Yeah,
Houston,
yeah.
like you've obviously absorbed that culture, brought it back here, and did something.
Before I went there, though, you know what I mean? I grew up on that shit. That's what separates me, really, like, from everyone that I knew growing up. People come to me, like, say, my mates would come, and I'd say, like, check this record out. I'm not using it, you know what I mean? Because they wouldn't even come in contact with that type of music, you know what I mean? And fucking, yeah.
So who put you onto that? Because most dudes...
Grew up with it, man. You know what I mean? Grew up with that shit.
But older brothers or...
Delph 7th grade, we had the sickest hip-hop collection when we were younger. Like, going to that room, it was just wall-to-wall full of CDs. And his brother had fucking the whole floor full of records. And we used to go there and party every weekend. I was learnt everything from that one dude, really.
When the mixtape started coming out, can you walk us through, like, as best as you can? It's been a while now. But can you walk us through each mixtape?
What do you mean? Walk us through the release?
Yeah, so the first one was the DJ Kansel scratch batch.
That took like 2 or 3 years to do. Back then, they all took so long to do, right? But that, I started working on that with Stain and Snare. Snare helped me do that. It was on his computer. It was the first thing we did together, and it just took so long that it ended up coming out later, but it was the first one. But yeah, the one with Stain and Betts, I don't know what that's called or whatever, but it's just called...
That was the beat. Was that the...
Just got the city on the front cover with us three, like, scratching, and it's like...
Yeah, I know the shit. One. Yep.
Yeah. Juice used to do all the covers for us back then. Fucking...
So that was the second one? The one with
that's the first one that got released, and then the one that looked similar with me and someone, sticking our fingers up at each other.
Yeah, yeah.
That one, and then probably that scratch mix came out, and then B-Sharps followed that. And
the B-Sharps, did that have volume 1, volume 2?
Yeah. And they pretty much led hand in hand into the volume 1 and volume 2, the official mixtapes, because of all the local talent. Like, we started getting dudes doing raps on them, you know what I mean? Motion was the first dude to do a rap, and that's through Fuad's Battlehogg, you know what I mean? And then I met Concepts, all the Adroit boys, and B-Sharp's pretty much the first place you'll hear multiple, like, exclusives. And then B-Sharp 2, there's like 25 exclusives. And then I was going to do B-Sharp 3, and I was thinking about doing it with purpose. Me and him just came back from overseas, and then I just thought, we'd done the Hood song, me and Callan done a song with the Hoods, and I thought, fuck it, let's just do a proper CD, you know what I mean? Put it on the shelf. And I knew Adam Kane, he runs Shogun. And that's it, man.
Okay, so that's... You had the Concepts and Paddy Icebreaker mixtape in there.
We did that. Like, Concepts and Paddy actually went to the States the same time as I went to the Scribble Jam. So we slapped that together pretty much with all the music that we'd done together, and then a couple of things that they hadn't released, like the Funk Wars song and shit. Just made that happen for them, and we just put all the fucking money into it and everything, just so it represented Australian hip hop as well. You know what I mean? And they were going to meet me at the Scribble Jam. It's a pretty successful thing. Everyone loved that. People still come up to me today and go on about that CD.
Yeah, word.
You know?
And then you had a mixtape.
Performed the fuck out of that CD. Did shows for like 3 years straight off that. Did gigs for years off that shit, man.
Yeah, I do remember that. And then you did the tape with KB the Kidnapper as well.
That was just a promo tape for his
tour.
Yeah, I sort of did it for the dude who I was saying, that's the dude who used to do the managing and organising with the Texas music. I pretty much just did that for him. I went to the States. KB got here. I did the show with him, and I think I left the next day to go to the States, and then caught up with him over there as well. You know what I mean? And so then I wasn't actually here for it.
Yeah, you had the mixtapes, like the 007 mixtape, Pagan Ellipsis.
007, yeah, we did. Me and Juice did that as a well, after Volume 1, fucking, I asked Juice if he'd do Volume 2. He'd done a couple of Digging Deep tapes, alright? I was heaps proud of I was like, let's do a fucking proper CD together, and let's just do this to practice to make sure we can work together. And me and him, we could work together, man. We'd known each other all our lives, and he's a fucking good mate, you know what I mean? He'd done heaps well doing those CDs with me, man. Like, lifted his game hardcore.
And then...
I'm pretty hard to work with, if you haven't heard. Yeah. I thought I was easy to work with. Smashed it out.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is all in a period excluding... Yeah, the red.
Yeah, questions, man. Yeah. I just fucking. I mean, I just do and do and do and do. There's no.
Yeah, you
had
the.
Keep up, then they can work with me.
aforementioned the Red October mixtape.
Yeah.
That's another one. The
A lot of them, like those type of CDs, I was pretty much like the mentor of getting them to get the shit together and do it. Like, you know what I mean? But they probably expected me to do more on it. But I would have done the cover. I would have sat there. Like, me and Motion were real close. I mean, Motive, sorry. Like, with the pagan shit. Like, say Jim, like with Adroit shit. Fucking concepts would come around and I'd work it out with him. With like, it'd be one-on-one with one bloke from the group. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And with Pagan, it was Motive, eh? And I mean, he was just motivated as fuck. I don't know where he is nowadays. But that cunt could sit down and write a song in front of me and a fucking album by tomorrow. You know what I mean?
There was a mixtape with Agony Life.
Yeah.
And then you had the Oztech Connect.
Yeah, that one with Agony Life, Stain actually helped me record that. Before I had my own studio, he brought around a laptop and helped me get that started, and then BVA helped me finish it. But that was pretty successful in the States, man. Probably people just turn their nose up or just fucking look straight past it over here. But in the States, man, there's some quality mixes on there, and my name I got a good name off that CD over there, man. And
then what about the Oztech Connect one?
Yeah, that was the first one of that, and then the second one was with Chingo Bling, and another dude. There was another dude hosting it called The Rhino from it's like 33rd Records or something. It was a dude, DJ Bull and Charlie Boy. They're pretty large artists, and Rhino was like sort of like a hype man. Wasn't the best rapper, but big character. You know what I mean? A lot of them over there, like Chingo Bling, definitely not the best rapper around, but just chock block full of character, you know what I mean?
A lot of personality.
Yeah. The Red Cafe tape was another successful one over there.
Yeah, so Red Cafe, dude from New York.
Yeah.
But how did that happen if you're in Houston?
The same dude. It was sort of made for DJ Someone. The dude I was telling you about, he was organising all the music, and I was real close with someone at the time, and I was saying, like, just organise something outside of Texas, you know what I mean? It wasn't really his cup of tea, really, but the CD was heaps successful over there. Especially with promoters and managers and shit. When that hit back over there, like fucking, you know what I mean? I pretty much got offers from a lot of places, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But you didn't take it because
I was doing Volume 2 back then.
Okay.
You know, that was exactly, I pretty much shut, and because Volume 1 worked so well, I didn't want to, the fan base from the Australian fan base, they didn't really need to know or hear about any Texas shit right then, you know what I mean? Just to fucking change their mind about what was going on.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I was giving them their fucking Christmas, birthday, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner all in one. So, you know, I didn't want them like saying, "Oh, is this that Texas shit?"
Yeah.
Just fucking keeping it as you know.
So you weren't really pushing those.
I stopped it. I did it in two different times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And then,
because when I did Volume 1 with Trials, no one knew what was going to really happen with that, and it took off, man, hardcore. I couldn't really do anything else with my time either, you know what I mean? If I was going to be serious about it, and, you know what I mean? The next one would have been even better.
Let's talk Battlehoggs 1.
3.
No, we'll get to 3. We'll get to 3,
yeah,
right?
Let's do that. 1.
So, Battlehoggs 1, that's the one hosted by Trials.
Yep.
I remember that one had the Candy Shop, Bottle Shop.
Oh, yeah, at the end of it. That actually came out on one of the B-Sharp tapes, the first one, I believe. But you know what I mean? But
was that on Battlehoggs? So that wasn't on number 1?
On the end as well.
So it was on both?
Yeah, it was just fucking hugely successful, you know what I mean? And fucking widely talked about, so I thought, fuck it, you know what I mean? I chucked it on there. I'm not even sure if they wanted it on there. Like, I just fucking put it on there. You know?
Now, when it came to making, Volume 1, Battlehoggs 1,
yeah.
And you'd already made all these other tapes prior to it.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea the success that it would have?
I sort of did. I put that much time and effort into making sure it would. So, like, even if it didn't have shelf success, I knew that people would fucking love it. You know what I mean? And it was undeniable. But if the shelf took it, or like Obese actually turned it down, like because it had an obese artist on the front cover, right? I just made the fucking thing, made a mock-up cover and everything, you know what I mean? And just put it in post, sent one to Obese first and just said, do you want to take this on as distro? And because of K21's track, that Crazy on Drugs. He turned it down. And like I've spoken to Pegs like personally, like he said it was one of the biggest mistakes he's made or biggest regrets or some shit. I was like, yep, all right, say that again and go, no. But you know what I mean? Like he's a realist cunt, but he was spewing that we didn't do it together. You know what I mean? And I believe he would have taken, we would have taken it further as well.
So what was the reason why he wasn't happy that K21 had that joint?
Oh no, he just thought that because of the Beyonce beat, they wouldn't be able to get past the rights and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I just said, trust me, man. Like it's mixtape, and if I put promo use only,
then that bypasses any issues. Okay, and then who else was on that?
Adam didn't even believe me when I told him it was going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like I just said, it's going to be fine, man. I've done other CDs like this in markets similar to this. It's going to be fucking fine. And
And then who else was on the tape?
What on that?
Battlehoggs 1.
Everyone? No, heaps of local cunts. Terra Firma. Vents came out on the tape. Demo came out on the tape. Like, their music from their releases that highly anticipated releases. Vince's first album, Damo's album. I got the first songs out through Trials and Simplex. Yeah.
And you knew all these guys because when you're working on a mixtape, you're working with...
Me and Simplex and Terra Firma have known each other since I was saying from the 90s, man, way before music and shit.
And how difficult was it actually getting all the artists on the same page to submit the tracks?
Heaps, man. You'd be surprised. And the more successful artists and the bigger artists on there, the more willing and switched on they were with the whole project. Trying to get a song off someone's first song off them. They were asking me how much I'm gonna pay them and shit. No, I don't know. Yeah, but I remember just that volume 1, artists like Delta and Simplex and Trials, and even the Hoods. I'd done that song with BBA for the Hoods, and just getting the feedback of once I'd fucked with their music. Everyone was so happy with it. You know what I mean? And just let me know what you want to do next. Because until then, it was I was sort of fucking breaking all the rules. You know what I mean? No one knew what I was doing.
So when you're saying breaking all the rules, you mean by going over jack beats and
pretty much fucking pushing the controversial envelope as hard as I could. You know what I mean? If that volume 1 Delta's over a Hood's beat, you know what I mean? People might have forgot there was controversy there, but it's probably because I did that song they forgot about it. You know what I mean?
So you got a tape on there that's Delta rapping on a Hood's beat.
Yeah, where have you been? Yeah, volume 1 is it comes in that third song in. I've remixed The Greater Good. It comes in over a Optimum beat and then flips straight into a Hood beat, the Hoods and Pegs beat. Yeah, that Delta loved that.
And so what made you do that?
Because they're fucking the best artists. Both of them cunts my mates, best artists in the state, and they deserved a bit of a fucking push. You know what I mean?
And
same as Strut and that. There was back in that time with that Monopoly song. There was a lot of fucking Tall Poppy syndrome with the Hoods and then the Oars going through that. You know what I mean? Everyone legit artists that have been working years that might have been more established or had more credential before the Hoods. You know what I mean? As legit artists Trem and Delta and that and Strut, they felt fucking cheated by fucking support Australian hip hop. You know what I mean? Go and support it just because it's fucking there or because it's got that fucking sticker on it or whatever. You know what I mean? Not support it because when you think about classics, those names I said, they got classic albums if not songs, songs if not albums. They're gonna last. The Australian will just go down forever. You know what I mean? As a classic album.
Yeah, and I mean the Battlehogg mixtapes.
They're the best albums ever. No.
Now, so you've obviously you got the product together. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
You know you're sitting on something good.
Yeah.
When it came out, what sort of numbers, what sort of number of units did you move?
Well, it sold 1,000 pre-sales. He made 500, sold 1,000 pre-sales. You want to know real numbers? Volume 1 probably sold about 5,000 copies. Volume 2, maybe 10. You know what I mean? Or just under 10. That might be exaggerated.
But
Might not be. It might be half. No. A lot, man, a lot. And it was just me, you know what I mean? I knew people that were working on albums all year round, and there was 4 of them, 5 of them, and they were getting $1 each because of their deal, you know what I mean? I was getting $8 and there was one of me, you know what I mean? And selling fucking,
The first one you did with Trials, the second one was with Strut.
Yeah.
Now, did he reach out to you to do the second one, or you reached out to him?
No, I reached out directly to him, man. I wanted to go somewhere total opposite, and it was either him or Trem. Like, just growing up I just, like, respect the LC name and brand, group, the whole thing, you know what I mean? And thought to go, you know, just having that under my belt, where do I go next? And Strut had just done that album, man, and I was like that with Adam Kane, you know what I mean? He made it happen. So, yeah.
And then
Strut was just, willing to work, man. That's a lot of different people, a lot of different ways of working, you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know?
And then so when you've started to do Battlehoggs 2, obviously now you'd be confident that this is going to do well because of how good.
Yeah, it did twice as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that did double the numbers.
Yeah, fucking oath. And if I didn't pull them off the shelves, like, because Shogun died, right, so I pulled them. You know what I mean? I got all my copies back and filled stores with the rest of them, pretty much gave them out, you know what I mean? I could release it today and sell another 10,000, I know I could. Fucking oath. Especially with another one. I could sell another 5,000 right now.
And then so who were some of the features that were on Battlehoggs 2? Yeah, Billy Bunk's on there.
Yeah, that was...
Briggs.
It was just... that was a Shogun thing, just because his album was coming out. Yeah, Briggs debuted on there. That was just a drunk freestyle, man, at fucking Beats' house with Trials. And Trials was on the song. If you know Volume 2, like, Trials was on that song. And probably a few people, but I just ripped Briggs off, right, because he was such a character. I'd end up hanging... When he come down, I'd hang with him, you know what I mean? Fucking... Like, when he came down to host the Funko show, I told him to do some songs, put him on a CD, bring him down, and, you know what I mean? He wasn't really an artist, but, you know what I mean? He had that much potential, you know what I mean? I remember thinking this cunt would be ready to host without a song. You know what I mean? He was hosting gigs and shit without songs, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, and everyone, like, in my close group of people, you know what I mean? No one wanted that song to happen because of fucking the quality of it. It was terrible quality, man. I just thought, fuck it, you know what I mean? You go listen to it now, like, no worse than anything else. Everyone give me terrible quality songs. You know, fucking made the best out of most of them.
You had Robbie Balboa on there.
Yeah, that was a lot of artists. Like, that was their favorite song. You know, a lot of rappers. He's a rapper.
You had Delta.
You know.
Yeah,
Delta. That's every gangster's favorite song. City of Corpses.
K21, Damo, Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Clandestine.
No time from going overseas to Scribble Jam, you know what I mean?
Once Battlehoggs 2 got pulled off the shelf, no more distro. I mean, you already moved double of what you moved.
Yeah,
and the first one.
And the first one came back out and did well as well. You know, I might do it again one day, like, but it won't be until something else happens. And there's only a couple of people that really inspire me to work. You know what I mean? Now, and it just depends, see what happens. It might, in the next couple of years, you might have another Battlehoggs release, but it probably won't be the same thing.
Okay, so let's talk the tape that never came out, Battlehoggs 3.
Yeah.
Now, you know, 1's done well, 2's done really well, but then the distros, you know, is gone. Now that obviously had a big impact as to why number 3 never came out.
Well, really, I just put the word out to get the songs, you know what I mean, and just kept them going. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. To tell you the truth, I really can't remember where I thought it would end up. You know what I mean? I don't know how I was going to do it. If it was going to be a promo one, I was just going to do it. You know what I mean? Fuck no, same as I did Volume 1. Just make the fucking thing and then figure out how it was going to get done after. Pretty much. I think I was going to try Obese first, you know what I mean, because they were still doing it. A few people were taking their, like, Clandestine had taken their thing there. Mason Matic just done all right, or, you know, had a reasonably, you know, good release with him. So I thought that's where I'll do it. But, you know, I don't know. It just never got made, man. Like, I got 10 songs. So, yeah, there was no Volume 3, like, you know what I mean?
So who did you have plans already, like, for a host of the next tape?
Yeah, Mortar was going to host it. I've got the main song. We got Trials to remix a Mortar song, incredible song that existed. We got the shout outs existed, like the whole like he hosted it. That's how I do it. I sort of get a dude to go in the booth and just give him a list of shit to say, you know what I mean? The tape's not done when they host, so you know what I mean? I've got all the shout outs and everything by Mortar, everything ready to go, you know what I mean? The tape pretty much revolved around Mortar, but the underground artists that didn't have other, like a timeline with their own music, their songs were done, and then I just put off asking the busier artists, like Trem just done his album, he'd agreed to do a song. I'd done one with Dialect, and we both wanted to redo that and shit like that. Like a few artists, like their songs were getting old, or they'd just improved in that last year, and we wanted to redo their songs. And you know, what I mean, I didn't want to get any songs off any like more substantial artists, and then them songs be like too old before it came out. You know what I mean? Especially with guys like Matt and that. Like I was saying to him, I'm doing another one, and he said leave it till last minute because all the Hood's music is written 4 albums, you know what I mean? But when they've finished, they've got shitloads of music, you know what I mean? But yeah.
And then, so who are some of the other artists that of those 10 tracks that you've got?
Yeah. So you want to know the 10 artists?
Yeah.
You know the 10 artists anyway.
I know. I have a rough idea.
You got the songs at home, so.
I remember it, yeah, but I don't remember exactly who.
No, yeah, but
Did you go on the demo one?
Oh yeah. So you got the demo and. Which one do you want me to talk about? No.
Well, the demo one's the one
demo
where he
did a 60 bar thing or 80 bar thing for me, like, or it could even be 100 bars. I can't remember. That's all it's called. Like when I got it off him, it just said the amount of bars that were on it. So that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's 100 now that I think about it. And that's not too brutal this time around. But the one on Volume 2 that Damo put out, rest in peace, Hunter. He'd done a reply to it. It's called Whack Cunts, and it's pretty much just ripping into Damo. So, I mean, that's pretty much the song that everyone wants to hear, or you know what I mean, especially because he's gone and that. You know what I mean? And
that was because of a line that Damo had in his album.
Damo just ripped into all the Perth cunts on that last one, sort of just saying a few things. You know what it is. Brown guy from Downside.
But is that
even ones where he's like it's like he's bleeped them out, but it's Western Australian disses. I don't know, just done like Western Australia.
Yeah, okay, so
fuck knows.
Hunter obviously took that some sort of way and then let it all out.
Yeah.
And that's never going to come out?
Yeah, like we're doing that next week, aren't we? No. Yes, we're going to release all the songs with you on the show.
So we are going to do that?
Yeah, we are. All the songs.
So we're going to exclusively put them out on air?
I'm taking over. I'm coming in.
Cancel's back.
Yeah. Nah.
First time in a few years.
Not back. Yeah, but yeah.
And then so who are some of the... So there's that joint. You got the one with Dialect. You like have... Man, I can't remember.
Social Change. There's a Funko song that's not finished, but we can still
right.
play that. There's a Draft song. A fucking Strut song. The first song we have to play is K21's song because that was the first one received. Me and K were always heaps close, and you know, the day that fucking Volume 2 came out, he made the song for Volume 3, and it's sort of like the chorus of the tape. I was thinking about even putting the hook of that song multiple times through the tape. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And then, so do you reckon? So it's not something that you're ever
not that that CD is never going to get done. Those songs are too old. Look, K21 just released his CD today. Even if you fucking, you know, it'd be stupid to release it like that anyway. Like, and you know, I wouldn't do that to him. It's 10 years old, man. You know, dudes like that have grown immensely as artists.
But you might put something out.
Oh yeah, we're gonna release those songs just to get them out because of all the talk. You know what I mean? And this interview, we'll just get rid of those 10 songs. And yeah, there might be another project in the mix, but I don't think it'll be happening. Like, if it's 50% my responsibility to do, like, you know what I mean, which it's gonna be or more, then it'll be once my kid goes to school, which is like another year or so.
Because of the amount of time that it takes.
Yeah, just the amount of time, man. You know what I mean? Just the amount of time I spend with him. I don't want to do nothing else. You know what I mean? Just soaking up every minute with him. I've got an 18-year-old that didn't grow up with me. You know.
Minute. So you want to put your time into that right now?
Yeah, fucking hell.
That's fair.
It's fixing me, you know what I mean?
But we might get something out of you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so Hunter, you obviously had a good relationship with Hunter.
Yeah, just met him through Mortar, and he got me to do the show down here. He actually got diagnosed that weekend, man. Like, he wasn't feeling good, like, for ages. And fucking the weekend that he was down here to do the show, he got diagnosed in Adelaide, you know what I mean, with cancer. That's fucked up. And we were going to do more shows. I was going to go to Melbourne with him and back to Perth because I was just heaps close to Perth cunts back then. And, you know what I mean, it just never happened.
Yeah,
I only spoke to him, like, seriously, probably about another 5 times, like, since, you know what I mean, because he just wasn't the same, you know what I mean? Like, I did all my contacting in the middle of the night. Everyone who fucking knew me back then knows that. You fucking get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, you answer that shit. And, you know what I mean, because he was sick and that, just tone it down a bit.
And so did you know him a fair bit prior to him, you know, getting that bad news?
Only a year or so, like, through Mortar. Like, Mortar come down here to... I don't know what he fucking come here for, but he stayed for about a year and got to know all of us heaps well. Did heaps of music. That's what led to, like, Volume 3 being announced with him as the host.
And then, so do you remember...
And him and Hunter were like, they were closer than probably any clandestine member. You know, like, they were all close and shit, but Hunter was like Mortar's best mate, you know what I mean?
And I heard all sorts of funny stories about Hunter, you know, and when you hear him on record, he sounds like a real funny dude.
Yeah.
Do you remember any, like, real funny stories?
Oh, like, yeah, like what? Just personal
yeah,
stories.
just like Hunter
stories. He was always drunk as, man. Like, fucking, you know what I mean? I mean, he was about as rowdy as on the other end as I was on this end, you know what I mean? He was a fucking party animal. Well, yeah. I've got some funny stories, I'll tell you after that.
Not for the camera.
He's gone, man. Can't tell shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you some stories.
Nah, I heard he was a how do I word it? Just a real good cunt.
One thing I could tell you, right? I've done a lot of shows with a lot of people, man, and I was like blown away, right? This one thing, being on stage with Hunter, everyone knew every fucking word to every song. You know, like, you get up with Strut and they'll know the Monopoly, and it's not that they don't know it, but they will sing that fucking song. You know, there's songs that people sing, you know, like louder than they performed. I swear, with Hunter's set, the whole fucking set. And I didn't know the songs, you know, because I'm not the biggest Oz hip-hop fan. I don't really know the old shit. And they're like, you know, all those old barbecue songs and shit. Cunts loved them, man. There's like fucking 30 cunts just fucking screaming them at me. Every song.
So how'd you end up being like, you know, Aussie hip-hop really wasn't your cup of tea, but you ended up being the dude with the most legendary Aussie hip-hop
man. I lived in
mixtapes.
Australia, man. You know? A lot of cunts, you know what I mean? Like, what? Because I didn't grow up on that shit. I liked it. A lot of, yeah. I liked a lot of Australian music. I remember when Vince came out, he was probably, yeah, some of his songs would hit home with me full on, you know what I mean? And then just grew to love it as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucking, you know, like the Cunt of the Year song, you know what I mean? Jimmy, like, Concepts used to help me fucking shape a lot of the Australian music that I did, because he was real close, and he's got a fucking real good music brain, so he'd help me. And then by the end of Volume 1, I knew the shit as well as he did. You know what I mean? It just wasn't my shit, and then it was, man. I take pride in it, hardcore. And you listen to anything that I've ever done, it was a little bit different to what the artists did by themselves, you know what I mean? Definitely. Just try to shape it without fucking forcing, you know?
Yeah. But you could tell it's
just
got...
shit like the Bottle Shop and that, you know what I mean? It was fuck the game up.
That was so dope, man.
Yeah. Charles did that, like, I was doing shit like that, and Charles did that and passed it to me one night. We were all drinking. Everyone was fucking spewing, and I got that in my hand. I was cranking it. I was dancing around Beats' house, and everyone was like crying. It's like, here goes the game.
And then, so why did Trials? Why did Trials end up being the host of the first one?
I was just fucking couldn't go elsewhere, really, man. You know what I mean? He was living with Jimmy Concepts at the time, and it was just, you know what I mean? Just everything, you know. Me and him, he understood and got along with me. I knew he'd work well, you know what I mean? Just asked him, and he said, yeah. Like, I think I might have actually asked Simplex and him at the same time.
And Trials just got back to you first, I guess.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Of all the gigs that you've done, because you've done a few in battles and shit like that.
Yeah,
everything that happened in music, what are some of the real memorable moments, the real standouts, whether it was shows, studio sessions?
Just times with mates, I guess, man. Like, doing shit with mates. Like, I don't know, like, there is a lot of times that do stand out, and it's not really, You know what I mean? Like, it's not really what you think. It's like times on stage. Like, I remember me and Kay messed up a show once. It was, I don't know, it was just unorganized, unrehearsed. Fucking, it was a Delta and Stain show. And then the next show, we absolutely smashed it, man. And it was like one of the best memories I've got from music. You know what I mean? Just smashing it with him, like, because I was happy for him as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, word.
Like, and another one was me and Juice smashed out a set at a draft show. It was fucking heaps memorable. Just, you know what I mean? Because it was my mate doing it with me, I guess.
Mm. So basically, any like moments with your homeboys on stage.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, doing it with, you know what I mean? Doing it for and with each other, you know? Getting somewhere and accomplishing something, you know what I mean? That you can both. I did heaps of shit, accomplished heaps by myself, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And people, just, but no one will ever know, just ignorance around me. You know what I mean?
Did you and Juice ever do the 4 turntable shit?
Yeah, 3 or 4 turntables. Yeah, the K21's Greenhouse release has got an intro that me and Juice recorded, and we did that live. We could do that live on 4 decks. And me and someone used to have two setups or 3 setups routine that we did once. Can't remember what show we ended up doing that at, but it was a Jimmy Rose gig. Fucking, I got that on footage. That was an incredible set though. Yeah,
I'd imagine you'd have a bit of shit on footage at home, huh?
Bad footage though, man, from back then. You know what I mean? Like, cameras weren't what they are today. Just you know, with the fucking crowd, the echo, fucking everything. You know what I mean? A lot of it's bad footage.
Yeah, I think the phone cameras now probably have better footage.
Show you fucking a lot of footage that, you know what I mean? Explain why we're good DJs. You know what I mean? Probably local people, like a lot of shit that Battlehoggs and me and my mates had done would have been interstate, you know what I mean? Back then.
So who exactly was officially in Battlehoggs?
Me, Juice, Snare, someone, Stain, I guess Stain and Betts. Don't know. It wasn't really an official thing, like either like whoever done the CDs, me and someone really made it a proper thing, I guess. Everyone else sort of repped it, but not to the fullest. Me and someone fucking would have got it tattooed on their fucking foreheads, you know what I mean?
The lesson.